Hey guys, Evylyn here, how are you all doing? Okay, so guys, I'm gonna get into the winner of last week's competition, and the winner should be on the screen right now. Congratulations. And all you have to do to claim that prize is make sure you send a YouTube message, leave your email and your nationality. Next week we're gonna have a new prize, and the prize should be on the screen right now. And all you have to do for a chance to win that prize is like the video, leave a comment, because we're gonna be choosing a winner from the comments. And make sure you're subscribed, as only subscribers can win. So today guys, I'm going to be talking about the official 5.4 patch notes. Now, I'm going to be going through everything on the Warrior and Rogue side of the patch notes. I'm going to be discussing as we go along what I think about the changes, and I'm going to be rounding up a couple of changes together and giving you guys my full thoughts on the whole changes all together. Okay guys, I know this video is going to be a bit long, but just bear with me and we'll get through it. There's going to be quite a lot of changes to both Rogues and Warriors, so let's get through with them. Now I'm going to be doing the Rogue changes first and then the Warrior changes. So yeah guys, let's get into the notes. So first off we have Ambush. The ambush damage has been increased by 12%. Now this is going to be a really good change for Subtlety Rogues, specifically because during dance the damage is just going to fly. The damage is going to be... let's just say I don't want to be on the other side of that. The evasion chance to dodge has now been increased. It's up from 50% up to 100% now. Cooldown is also being reduced to 2 minutes, down from 3, and the duration is now 10 seconds instead of 15. Now this is a really good change. It's specific against warriors who are specking Bladestorm at the moment. There's a lot of warriors who are specking Bladestorm, and you use evasion during Bladestorm. Let's just say you're going to dodge all of it, like dodging, say, the Wolf's Offical Enhancement Shaman or something like that. Anyways guys, the next change is going to be Eviscerate. Eviscerate now deals 10% less damage. Yes, this is a nerf, but there's a change down the road, and I'm going to explain it when we get to it, that this isn't really that much of a nerf after all when you think about it. The next change is to Fan Knives. Fan Knives damage has been increased by 25%. Maybe it's an increase for RBGs, we'll see how it goes. Recuperate now restores 4% of your maximum health every 3 seconds, up from 3%. Now this is a lot of health when you think about it guys. Now a lot of rogues are saying it isn't really changed that much for rogues, because the damage increases and stuff like that. But the truth is, if you use a rogue right, and you disable your opponent right, just like warriors, the health is going to go back up as you disable them, so just remember that. Sinister Strike damage has now been increased to 240% weapon damage, up from 145, but the energy cost is now 50, up from 40. Now this is a really good change to combat, specifically because Sinister Strike is pretty much the main bread and butter of a combat rogue. Now you have to remember, they made another change to combat rogues, which is going to be down further, but the energy and the combat point generation isn't going to be too bad after all. Assassination rogues can no longer roll on anything but daggers, and this is more of a PvE change, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Dispatch is now being changed. Dispatch now does 645 weapon damage, up from 460 weapon damage. Now this is a really good change, especially when you get them on low health, because you can just spam this really hard and just kill them instantly. Like, it's just so much damage. Mutant now does 280% weapon damage, up from 200. This is also a massive change to Assassination Rogues. You're going to see a lot of damage pumped out from Assassination Rogues, so watch out for that one guys. Assassinations are going to be a really strong spec this patch. Next is Combat. New ability Ruthlessness, what I mentioned there guys. Passive ability learned by Combat Rogues level 32. The rogue gains 20% chance per combo point, 100% chance of 5 combo points, to immediately regen 1 combo point while performing a finishing move. This is a change they made previous patches before, and it was called something different. I think it was a glyph actually, and it had a 50%, then it went up to 20%. Like, they removed the glyph and now they made it a passive ability. So when you use Eviscerate, you're going to get an extra combo point, and then you like to spam Sinister Strike a couple of times, and you get your full 5 combo points without a problem. Plus you'll have extra damage that you wouldn't have had before. Killing Spree targeting is now being changed. If you use Blade Fury, you will target multiple targets and attack multiple targets like it used to do in 5.3. So there's not much change there, but if you're not using Blade Fury, it will attack just the one target you're attacking, or the closest target possible if you have no target. And that basically just means it's going to be a lot more single target damage, which is really good for PvP. Evylyn Strike now does 160% weapon damage, up from 125. This isn't really a massive change in damage since Evylyn Strike never did that much damage, and it's also a damage increase, so it's always good like that. Vitality now increases attack power by 40%, up from 30%. This is a big one for combat rogues because the damage increase is going to be substantial when using Killing Spree or Adrenaline Rush or anything like that. Okay, so Backstab. Backstab now does 380% weapon damage, up from 275% with Subtlety rogues. That's a really massive change, guys. That's like 1/3 of the extra damage every backstab, so you're gonna see Subtlety rogues climbing the trees pretty soon. Hemorrhage now deals 160% weapon damage, up from 140, and 232% weapon damage, up from 203 if daggers are equipped. This is actually a massive change as well. I can see rogues hitting ridiculously hard with Hemorrhage, Backstab. This has increased all of our damage overall. As you guys saw at the top, Ambush was also increased. Just so much more damage. Single Ray Veins is now being increases the damage targets take by up to 25%, up from 20. So remember what I said earlier on, guys, that Eviscerate was nerfed by 10%? Well, they increased the damage by 5%, which means Eviscerate was only nerfed by 5%, plus the increase in item level is going to negate every single bit of nerf that Eviscerate hit. So it's still going to be hitting a lot harder than it was in 5.3. Talents. Burst of Speed has now had its energy cost reduced by 15 energy, so it now only costs 15 energy, down from 30 energy. Because in arenas, rogues get quite a lot when they're over stealth, so it's going to be a really good choice. Cheat Death now reduces damage taken by 85%, up from 80%. I specifically still won't be using Cheat Death because I've tested it out myself and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather have elusiveness, because 30% flat damage reduced for a whole arena game is actually quite a lot, especially when you're being nuked. Cloak and Dagger now allows the rogue to use Ambush, Garrote and Cheap Shot from 40 yards away instead of 30. I don't know if this is going to make Cloak and Dagger actually a worthwhile choice, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be a really good choice if you're a Night Elf rogue. Night Stalker now increases damage dealt while abilities are stealthed by 50%, up from 25%. At high level, it's just going to be ridiculous. It may be good in certain situations, like after you've vanished or something like that. At low level I can see it being really good because Ambush hits ridiculously hard at that level. Paralytic Poison has been changed. It now stuns the target of 4 applications of the poison instead of 5. I've been testing this out myself and I can say it procs a lot. It's really good. I'm not too sure if it's going to be better than Prayer in the Weak or Dirty Tricks. Prayer in the Weak is still the way to go, especially as a Subtlety rogue. But maybe as combat you might want to go for Paralytic Poison. Who knows? Okay, the next change is going to be the Charge Step. Charge Step cooldown has been reduced by 4 seconds. So it's down from 24 seconds to 20 seconds. Which is a really good change to rogues, because half the time rogues couldn't Charge Step because the cooldown was a bit longer than it should have been. So this is going to come more in line with a Warrior's Warbringer charge, which I actually think is a really good change for rogues. Okay, so next is the Glyphs. Glyph Regenerush effect is now baseline and has been replaced by Glyph of Redirect. Glyph of Redirect now reduces the cooldown of Redirect by 50 seconds, from no longer having a cooldown, which basically means it's going to be a 10-second cooldown. Glyph of Blind now removes only damage over time effects that will cause the blind to break. For rogues that have Dirty Tricks, this no longer means that blind will remove the rogue's poison or bleed effects. Glyph of Crippling Poison is now being replaced by Glyph of Sharpened Knives. Glyph of Sharpened Knives now also causes Fad Knives to also damage the armor of its victims, applying 1 application of the weakened armor effect to the target. Now this is going to be really good in RPGs because of the simple fact that you'll be able to apply Sunder Armor, increasing all the melee and hunter's damage on all the targets. Glyph of Debilitation is now being replaced by Glyph of Recovery. Glyph of Recovery now increases healing received by the rogue where Recuperate is active. Glyph of Recuperate now increases the healing the Recuperate does by an initial 1%, up from 0.5%. This is a really good change because rogues are going to basically be healing a lot with Recuperate if they go for this glyph. I'm still not sure if it's going to be better than some of the other glyphs, especially if you're Assassination or Subtlety, but I can see this being a really good choice as a combat rogue, but we'll see how it goes. Glyph of Sap has been replaced by Glyph of Hemorrhaging Veins. Glyph of Hemorrhaging Veins now causes Singularity Vein to also boost damage done to targets affected by hemorrhage. This basically means that if you spec for this glyph, constant singularity veins in the target instead of having it only when you're invisible or when you use rupture. Now the thing is, this is a really good change because half the time rogues can't get back in stealth, and half the time you don't have the combo points to actually apply rupture or reapply quick enough. Glyph of Shiv now reduces the cooldown of Shiv by 3 seconds, was 2 seconds. I mean, there's no real need to massively reduce the cooldown. I mean, it's not worth using a glyph slot for this particularly. You're better off using other glyphs because they're a lot more stronger than this one. So my final thoughts on the rogue changes are, especially for assassination and subtlety, the damage increase on assassination and subtlety has been improved by quite a lot. I see the damage from assassination and subtlety just being overwhelming to a lot of comps, so you're just gonna have to watch out. I mean, assassination and subtlety already on 5.3 were just kind of nearly killing you in a stun, so imagine what they're going to do now. So rogues are looking really strong for 5.4, and I can't wait to play my rogue on 5.4. Okay, so let's get on with the warrior changes now. Okay, so the stances have been changed to 1.5 seconds down from 3 seconds. This means you can quickly switch between stances from battle to defensive depending on which one you want, but you're going to be switching between battle and defensive. And I see this as a really good change because it's going to allow you to switch to the battle stance, get some extra rage, quickly go back to defense stance before they jump on top of you. I mean, I was playing in arenas there and it was just amazing, like just being able to quickly switch stances just made it so much more easier. Blood of Thunder now increases the damage of Thunderclap by 50%. This is going to be an AoE change more than anything, and it's going to be more for RBGs than anything else. I mean, but it's still a decent change on single target. Deep Wounds now has damage increased by 65%. This means that Deep Wounds is going to be ticking for quite a lot. I mean, on the dummies it was ticking for 150k or something like that, which is probably going to be about 70k ticks on any PvP player, which is actually quite a lot. Rage now also triggers critical hits from Devastating Shield Slam. This is a PvE change more than anything else because protection warriors are kind of dead in RBGs at high level anyway, at least. Next change is the Hamstring. Hamstring no longer has a global cooldown. Now this is a really good change to warriors because it allows you to get in on the target and do a lot of damage instantly before they even try to get away. I mean, when you use Charged In, you have to wait 0.5 seconds before you can use Hamstring, and this gives people a chance to get away. And warriors can only do damage on other targets, so this is going to allow us to do a lot more damage on targets, specifically because of the fact that we're going to be able to engage and lock them down before they try to get away from us. Intervene now also breaks roots and snares. This now opens up the tree, the level 75 tree, to actually pick any of the 3 talents. You can go between Mass Spell Reflect or Safeguard, or you can even use Vigilance if you really want to. Now the choices are unlimited with this now. I can still see Safeguard having some sort of place, but I'm not too sure yet. You can also argue the fact that you're not going to get heavy burst every 2 minutes, so you could probably even try Vigilance out. I mean, Mass Spell Effect also has its perks because of the fact that you can reflect spells like Chaos Bolt on your healer when your healer is probably going to die or stuff like that, you know, just small little changes. I think the best option of the 3 at the moment and the safest one is going to be Safeguard, but I'll let you guys know later on down the road what I feel is the best option of the 3. Shattering Throw no longer costs any rage. I can't count on my 2 hands how many times I've not been able to use Shattering Throw because I had no rage. This is the most pain in the arse ever. And because of this, they've made warriors a lot more effective. They have to use 25 rage that they could be used for bursting on Shattering Throw, and also it means that you're going to be able to Shattering Throw whenever you want. Now, ideally it would be nice if they brought this down to a 3-minute cooldown, making everything 3 minutes for warriors, but it's okay at 5 minutes as well. Shield Wall no longer requires a shield. If the warrior doesn't have a shield equipped, it will show a visual equipped shield instead. This is a really good change, guys. I mean, you've all seen feral druids when they have their survival instincts up, like the damage you reduce is just insane. I mean, you could even go insane and go for the glyph and go for 5 minutes, but this is more for duels than anything else. But That being said, I would still probably more than likely go with just the normal way it is, just no glyph at all. I mean, shield wall with no shield. I mean, you do have a virtual shield, but no shield. It's just GG. I mean, it's like having a second die by the sword, really, isn't it? I mean, you can just get in there and just damage them up while you're shield walling. Like, when warriors used to be pressured, they used to have to go defensive with shield wall, and this made us play a lot more defensive, but also reduced their damage by quite a lot. And this was a really bad change on Warriors' part. I mean, Warriors just couldn't do any damage with shield wall up, and it was just ridiculous. Now with this change, we can do a lot of damage. We can keep the pressure that Warriors are supposed to do. That is our job in the arena. We're supposed to keep the pressure, and now we can effectively do that with this change. So I'm really happy about this change. Spell Effect. Spell Effect now requires you to use a shield either, which means Warriors and basically you can get rid of that clunky shield if you really want to. Arms changes. This change wasn't actually in the PT or patch notes. It was made as the realm went live. Mortal strike damage has been increased. And I'm happy about this change. It's gone up from 175% weapon damage to 215% weapon damage. Now, this is a massive increase in damage in Mortal Strike. I mean, Mortal Strike was hitting what? Well, it's hitting about 60k on crits on live, and about 100k crits, so it's going to be roughly hitting about 120k, 130, maybe 140 if we're lucky enough, depending on cooldowns and such. Seasoned Soldier now also reduced the cost of Thunderclap by 10 rage. This makes Thunderclap 10 rage. This means you can literally almost spam it in the RBGs and such. This is just going to be a good overall change to Warriors, especially in the AoE situation. Slam now deals 25% more damage, but the rage cost has also been increased by 25 as well. While Sweeping Strikes is active, Slam will now also deal 35% of the damage dealt against the primary target to all other enemies around within 2 yards. Also, targets affected by Colossal Smash will receive 10% more damage. This basically means that Warriors are going to be more of a cleave machines. We're going to do a lot more damage when Colossal smashes up. I mean, second you put that Colossal smash up, 2 slams straight away to the face. That's like instantly 240k damage. Like, that's going to be like a really hard hitting move, like at certain situations. You've also got to remember the fact that Slam is now doing 25% more damage, but the rage cost is also 25% more, which means you're going to have to watch your rage a bit more than you would have been before. But if you use it right, you should be fine. I mean, if you have the Bull Rush glyph, you use Battle Show and you charge and you use it at the right time, you can quite easily stop yourself from running out of rage. Next change is the Fury Warriors. Titan's Grip now allows you to grip pole arms. Unfortunately, there was no way to change the Fury, but that's the only change. Protection. Revenge now generates 20 rage, up from 15. This is a really good change for overall warrior damage as regards to tanks. Represent is a new passive ability learned by Protection Warriors level 76. When the warrior dodges or parries an attack, they gain 75% of their parry and dodge as additional bonus to critical strike. So this is going to mean warriors are going to be critting all over the place as tanks. Will this bring back warriors in PvP? Probably not. Ultimatum now activates for critical hits with Shield Slam instead of having a flat 20% chance, and the ability will now make your next Heroic Strike or Cleave be a critical hit instead, in addition to costing no rage. This means that warriors are going to be critting all over the place, specifically because of the fact that 75% of the parry and dodge is going to be quite a lot, so you're going to be like critting with Shield Slam, constantly gaining your rage, constantly gaining in rage, constantly generating rage. It's just going to be all over good as Protection Warrior. Okay, the talents. Bladestorm's cooldown is being decreased to 60 seconds, down from 1.5 minutes. Bladestorm's damage is also being changed for Arms Warriors. Bladestorm now deals 180% weapon damage, up from 120, and for Protection Warriors, Bladestorm now deals 160% weapon damage, down from 240. Bloodbath, Snare, and Bleed effects are now 2 separate buffs, meaning if you cleanse one, the other will now going to be removed. This is a really good change because a lot of warriors weren't expecting Bloodbath because of this reason. The damage also increased on Bladestorm, which has made Arms Bladestorm a really enjoyable choice. I mean, I've seen a couple of videos, like everyone's seen a couple of videos from a lot of warriors using Bladestorm, and yes, you guys know I'm a real fan of Bladestorm. I've had about 5 videos on Bladestorm, So this is going to be a really good change to Warriors, and you can definitely look and see forward to seeing me using this in maybe some future ganking montages. Even laughing on me there, you know. But yeah, let's get on with the next change. And Rage Regeneration now instantly heals for 10% of the warrior's total health, up from 5, and an additional 10% over 5 seconds, up from 5. This basically means that warriors are going to be not speccing for this because of the fact that the second one is still better in a certain sense. We'll have to see how battle fatigue plays in the arenas, but I still think it's not enough to make anyone spec out for second wind. Impending Victory now heals the warrior for 20% of their maximum health at all times. Whether you've killed somebody or not, it's always going to be 20%, up from 15%. Stormbolt's duration has now been increased to 4 seconds, up from 3 seconds, and now is an offhand weapon attack for Fury Warriors. This is a really good change, specifically for me because I use Stormbolt a lot outside of Arena. I mean, my favourite specs are probably Stormbolt and Dragon Roar, and Stormbolt and Bladestorm. I use these quite a lot, especially Stormbolt Bladestorm against mages or Stormbolt Dragon Roar against warriors, just specifically because of the fact that you can lock out someone really good and kill them easily, get past second one with Dragon Roar, or break a deep freeze with Bladestorm, stuff like that, you know. That's just an all round good thing. May even make Stormbolt a bit more desirable for Arena, like as using it as a ranged CC maybe. I don't know, we'll have to see how things go, guys. Vengeance no longer transfers damage to the warrior. The talent now reduces the damage the target takes 30% for 12 seconds. This is a really good change because a lot of people weren't using Vigilance because of the fact that the warrior was taking damage in PvP. But now it makes warriors want to use Vigilance in PvP, because I mean, if you're facing the comp that's only going to hit you hard every 2 or 3 minutes, this would be a really good choice. Where if you face the comp that's going to be hitting you really hard every minute, like a mage or something, you're probably going to want to go for Safeguard. Now, Warbringer has been changed. Warbringer now roots the target in place for 4 seconds instead of stunning them for 3 seconds, and the 50% duration to movement speed effects for 8 seconds remains unchanged. Glyph Blitz now calls Warbringer to root 2 additional newbird targets. I'm still not too sure about this change. I feel it's a nerf because I like the stun on Warbringer when I was using Bladestorm. I'll just be honest with you. I like that stun. I mean, if you want to charge interrupt the healer, you can't do it with Warbringer now, and it just doesn't feel right. Anyways, let's get on with the glyphs. The Voyage glyphs. Glyph of Executor. Killing an enemy with Execute grants Rage. This is a really good change. It gives you 30 Rage when you kill with Execute. Glyph of Pain Throw's Heroic Throw now leaves an axe on the target, which can be retrieved removing on 5 yards of the target and finishing the cooldown of Heroic Throw. This effect can only occur when the Heroic Throw has been cast from more than 10 yards away. This just basically means that if you throw Heroic Throw charging the target and they blink away, you can use Heroic Throw straight away again and leap back on and get your Heroic Throw back. New Maya glyphs. Glyph of Raging Whirlwind. Raging Whirlwind basically is the glyph I really like the look of, and it's a Maya glyph, that's what makes it even better. Whirlwind gives additional rage over time, but the warrior no longer generates rage from auto attacks. Now this does not affect you if you're in defensive stance, because you don't generate rage from auto attacks if you're in defensive stance. And most of the time in RBGs, warriors are going to be in defense stance, or even in arenas, most of the time you're going to be in defensive stance. Now, if you use this in arenas, and you use it twice, it generates 5 rage every 1 second for 6 seconds. So that means if you have 100 rage and you use this twice, that means you could effectively burst into someone for 130 rage, which is mind-blowing, like when you think about it. And in RBGs, like if you keep this going, like you've got extra rage for slams, you've got extra rage for sweeping strikes and all that kind of good stuff. I mean, it's just overall AoE damage, like the increased damage to Bladestorm, the increased damage to Thunderclap, the increased damage to Deep Wounds, the increased damage to Slam when it cleaves with sweeping strikes, the increased damage to sweeping strikes, like for Warrior, by 70% on the extra target. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, the increased rage to Whirlwind, like everything all revolves around AoE of Warriors now. Overall, Warriors going to be AoE tactic in 5.4, and I can't wait to use this in RBGs. So yeah guys, that's all the warrior changes that we have. I can say overall, from all the warrior changes, warriors are in a strong place right now. they fixed a lot of things that they should have fixed quite a long time ago. I mean, the shield wall thing was definitely something they should have fixed. I mean, we were the only class 1 force defensive that our damage was nerfed. I mean, every other class 1 force defensive can continuously keep the pressure up. Like, it's just the way it is. I mean, it changed the shattering throw was just substantial because of the fact that half the time we couldn't use the rage. Change the hamstring just allows to get in the targets better. Change to all the AoE abilities allows to do a lot more AoE damage, making us more desirable for RBGs and such. Change the stances allows to generate more rage when we want to. The changes to spell reflect and shield and all that other good stuff. Change to more strike, increase damage. The change to slam, increase cleave, increased overall damage. Like, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to do a bit more rage, but we should be okay. I mean, it changes to protection, like, I mean, decent. I mean, it's gonna increase all the damage protection warriors do in the raids and such. I mean, changes to the Pendant Victory and Generation I'm not too happy about. I mean, it's not really a choice to make you actually go for second win over second win. I mean, and then you've got like change to Bloodbath, just makes it an overall more desirable talent now. I mean, combined with Bladestorm, it's actually doing pretty good. But the thing is, even though it looks like it's doing a lot of damage, at the end of the day, it's Bladestorm that's doing the damage, not Bloodbath. I mean, Bloodbath is still pretty decent though, but I still think Avatar is going to be a little bit stronger in regards to that sense. Change the Stormbolt is definitely going to make that more desirable. Overall in all, I would say Warriors are looking really strong in 5.4, so I'd say watch out for Warriors. We're going to be one to watch this season. Anyways guys, that was all the changes for both Warriors and Rogues. I know the video was quite long, but I thank you guys for sticking through it and watching the video. Now 5.4 is just basically started, like, it's live on both US and EU, so you guys are probably testing out the changes right now. As regards to the future videos guys, I'm going to be trying to get a Rogue video of my Warrior guide out pretty soon. I'm also going to be trying to get another part of the Warrior guide out, the second part, and then I'm going to try to also get my 2K montage out pretty soon as well, and then maybe restart my dueling series in 5.4 as well. That's something you guys can look forward to. And also I'm going to be trying to push higher in arena in this season than I've ever pushed before, so you guys could definitely watch out for that one. I'm also going to be trying to be more interactive with you guys than I have been. I'm going to try to, I know I've already been interactive with you guys, but I'm going to try to be a bit more interactive. Like, I'm thinking about maybe even doing like maybe a Fan Friday, like something cool like that, like maybe do a BGs and such, like some cool things that I can show on the channel with you guys. Just play more with you guys, have more fun with you guys, because that's what I want to do. I want to be helping you guys out, backing you guys up, giving you guys videos. I mean, this video was backing you guys up, stuff like that. Just be more interactive with you guys, maybe do some duels against you guys, maybe do some arenas, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But anyways guys, thank you for watching. This is Evy out. I love you all, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.